Today in the crypto space, we see the market nice and green. Bitcoin up approximately 2.5% above that $71,000 level. Ethereum above that $3,500 mark, up approximately 8% deep in the green. In the rest of the crypto space, the altcoins are pretty much following Ethereum's lead to the upside. We have Toncoin, Near Protocol, Optimism, and Neo, and many others here grinding to the upside to those higher levels. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one altcoin, one project that is looking for another leg to the upside, and that project is called Octaspace. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click that bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setup, fundamentals, and learning material. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with the general market here. Top 100. Let's scrape right through it quick. Bitcoin is looking good. Bitcoin is above that $70,000 level. It got a slight rejection in the last little bit, but still looking pretty good. Is it going to get into price discovery once again and start grinding to the bullish price targets, maybe around the 80,000? It's all very possible. However, guys, I do feel like the risk of expecting Bitcoin to get an explosive move to the upside without a major consolidation and at least a bit of a dip is a bit risky. Not to say that it can't. It's all about risk to reward. And at this current level, you can see that Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin, and the reward is a lot more enticing getting into Ethereum. And this is something that I've been talking about significantly here on the channel. If anything, Ethereum has a little bit more growth potential, given that it hasn't even gotten to its previous high, and it didn't even get into price discovery. So it's lagging behind Bitcoin and has a little bit more to give to the market. And if you keep on going down, a lot of the other altcoins are in the same boat. We have Solana, kind of hanging out there, maybe continues and starts moving again. We have BNB that continues and start moving again. But as you come down the lower caps, we have more opportunity. Toncoin is up 15% today. Really good gainer in the last little while. AVAX kind of taking a bit of a break. Maybe it starts to explode and continues to the upside. These are larger cap altcoins. Obviously, it's $18 billion market cap altcoins. Now, what do we expect from these altcoins? Do we expect more? How many X values? How many more gains could we actually get? Yeah, we could get a nice 5X. I don't see why not. But ultimately speaking, again, a lot of these altcoins have run up a little bit, and they're not at the bottoms as they were in the bear market. And I think that a lot of other altcoins have that opportunity still because they have yet to leave the station. And that's what I've been focusing on here in the last little while, finding those bottom dwellers, or at least projects that have gotten one nice impulsive move and then a nice consolidation, and that way you can form a bias, some sort of thesis to the upside as a continuation, and that way you can have your invalidation, you can have your whole setup going. But when you're looking at projects that have been grinding so hard to the upside without a pullback or consolidation, that's when things get risky. Okay, so this is what I'm looking for. We have Polkadot kind of going sideways, not doing much in the last little while, but slowly waking up. We have Chainlink waking up a little bit, 3%. Guys, these little moves to the upside are nothing. The reality is these are probably just wake-up calls. A lot of these projects have been in a very low volatile state where the RSI is stuck in the middle of the range, pretty much at the 50% mark, which means that we're going to get choppy volatility. And at the end of the day, we could also interpret that as an opportunity to see the price consolidate before an expansion move. And at this point, we can see that a lot of these projects in the last little bit have been kind of going sideways. Continuations to the upside is very possible here. So we have Cosmos, and even Dog with Hat has been doing really well here. But big picture, within its consolidation or its price structure, it is kind of going sideways. But of course, Dog with Hat has been a great gainer, and I expect it to do well and continue to do well. But it is is a $4 billion market cap all of a sudden. Okay, so this is something to consider. How many more X's can we get into this? If it gets to about $40 billion market cap, yeah, we have a nice 10X, no problem, right? What else do we have? We have Render pushing to the upside, breaking a bit of structure, breaking above these previous local highs, which is pretty good. And you can see the general market is in the same boat. Some bottom dwellers, some quiet projects like VeChain are finally waking up, and it's all about that risk to reward. VeChain hasn't gotten its major impulsive move yet, and it's very likely that the market is realizing that those are the projects that have better risk to reward and expect more of an allocation to be placed on those projects, because again, invalidations at the bottom can be placed, keeping a very healthy risk to reward. And VeChain at the end of the day has been still grinding away, cooking up in the background throughout the entire bear market, so the fundamentals are still solid. Let's continue going down. We have many projects doing a very similar thing. You can see all these little segments of price action are pretty much doing the same thing. Phantom is up 7.5%, really good. Think about ecosystem, think about the DEX, think about the meme coin, think about all of the components that make up a strong ecosystem, and slowly deploy a bit of capital. If you're bullish on Phantom, look into Boo, and then look into Goat, look into the actual layer 1 itself, the Phantom coin itself, and then hopefully we see the entire ecosystem wake up, and we can see some gains throughout the ecosystem in general. We have Floki doing okay, Rocket Pool, of course, ETH-based projects, narrative projects are doing well today, given that ETH today is one of the major gainers. Obviously a large cap, what else do you expect? But still grinding away to the upside, being a leading indicator for the Ethereum-based projects, but also for the entire altcoin market in general. Could we be seeing an altcoin season very, very soon? Let's continue going down here. We have Mantle doing pretty good. Ticker is Meth, doing pretty good. Nice grind to the upside. Wormholes at the bottom of the range, doing nothing. Athena's looking okay, recuperating and doing its thing, grinding upwards. Ordinals, not really the biggest fan, but it's up 18% in the last 7 days, so that's super, super bullish. And the overall sentiment in the market, guys, today is green. We have some good gainers, 10%. Neo's up 30%. Bottom dweller, Neo, of course, is grinding, of course, based on risk to reward ratio. And what else do we have? EOS doing a nice impulsive move to the upside, and the market is bullish again here, guys. Market is bullish. So in the last little while, I did mention that I wasn't really confident, that I'm still not super confident, but it doesn't mean that I'm not going to be scaling into opportunities. I look for those bottom dwellers, look for the projects that are holding strong levels of horizontal support, and that way you can mitigate risk while still start DCing into those projects, because if we get a bounce, look what happens, guys. We get nice green moves to the upside. All right, guys, let's jump right into the charts. I know you're here to talk about price action. Let's begin taking a look here at Bitcoin. What do I expect from Bitcoin? Bitcoin at the end of the day has been doing really good, even though it's within its consolidation. The question is, do we break above the previous high? If we break above the previous highs, price discovery once again, and we keep on going to the upside. This could be another continuation pattern, a nice bull flag. After consolidation, we should get another expansion. And let's look at this in a little bit more detail. Guys, expansion moves are important, and trying to catch those expansions are important, because during consolidation, we know that the momentum is not giving us an edge. We know that there could be volatility, but if there's no momentum, that volatility is really, really dry, in the sense that there's no big moves in that volatility. So if we look at this indicator right here, what I got going on, you can see that the trend strength is in the chop zone. Basically, the RSI, the trend strength, is not really doing anything. Well, we have the momentum kind of hanging out here in the chop zone. We don't expect the volatility to be big. So as the momentum, the relative strength of this momentum is kind of going sideways, and you can see the price action is also going sideways. We do have a bit of volatility, but the volatility is very tight because we're in the chop zone. As soon as we exit the chop zone and we get to oversold and overbought conditions, that is where the traders want to get in, because obviously we got a bit of strength in the momentum, and we got some volatility to follow, and you can see the expansion to the upside based on this move from here to where we are right now is pretty much ended. Now the question is, do we get another green expansion, or should we prepare for a red expansion to the downside? And as long as the momentum is in the chop zone here in the 50% mark, guys, we don't know exactly what is going to be happening. All we could assume is that if we break out of previous highs and we start getting into price discovery, that is the area where we can expect a continuation to the upside. And when you're in price discovery, it's very hard to come up with TA. We look for extension levels. Let's do that. Swing high, to swing low, and we start looking for 1.618s, 1.27s, even 2.618s and 3.618s. All these extension levels are very possible. Nice psychological numbers, maybe 80,000, which is right around this level, maybe 90,000, 100,000. You get my point. It starts to become very, very difficult to have that precise, TA when you have no previous price action to go by. So in this case, this is one of the reasons why I am not crazy about getting into a fresh long on Bitcoin. Positions already should have been built. If we do come down here at these lower levels and we start to build a bit of confidence once again at the bottom of the range, maybe get another green expansion indication, maybe we can start getting into a long position. And if you happen to buy these bottoms at this horizontal support, congrats, because that was a great entry. That was your only entry at invalidation. Even this dip right here wasn't that bad, but of course I was not very confident on that dip. For me, it's okay. I don't have to get into every single trade across the market. I'm very selective. I only need a couple good trades, and that makes me profitable. You don't have to get into every single trade here, guys. Look for the perfect setups, and even if it means to get into altcoins, because Bitcoin, although the setups could be there, remember the volatility is not even that there. You're not going to make life-changing gains here unless you're going crazy leverage, which again, that's how people get wrecked. So be careful out there. Bitcoin is looking okay. Use it as a leading indicator, and more importantly, look at what Ethereum is doing versus Bitcoin today. Today could be the day where we see an altcoin season begin. All right, guys, let's take a look at the chart of Octa. Octaspace is one of those projects that are looking great. This is why I've been saying, as Bitcoin shows strength here, at least going sideways, at least within its top range, what is going to happen to the altcoins? Well, a lot of them will follow Bitcoin's lead. A lot of them might start exploding to the upside, given that the market is getting boring. Focusing on Bitcoin gets boring as there's no volatility. Chop zone price action goes sideways. Now, what are we going to look for? We're going to hunt for volatility. And if you look at what Octa is doing here on the daily, it's actually looking pretty good. We are stuck in the chop zone. I get it. Look at the momentum. The strength of the momentum is stuck in the chop zone at the 50%, which is obviously clear that a lot of altcoins, a lot of projects across the market are doing a very similar thing. However, what I like most, and of course, price action is king. You can see how the price action is respecting the top of this volume gap, and it's slowly rounding to the upside. It is also respecting the 50 EMA, which is obviously acting as support. It is respected the previous highs, which is not bad. If you see this wick, it got a quick buy up based on previous price action, and the clarity in the chart is definitely there. Now, I put in this yellow line probably live one day, or when I was covering this chart, and you can see that the 200 daily EMA is slowly creeping up and also going to act as a support line for the trend, because the 200 daily EMA is a great trend indicator. And as long as we stay above the 200 daily EMA, yes, we could dip down, but we also have the indication that the trend is our friend as long as we stay above the 200 daily EMA. So just also keep in mind, as the momentum is stuck in the chop zone here on the 50% mark, the momentum oscillator, which is the orange line, the volatility of this momentum is obviously very stuck in a range because we're stuck in the chop zone. The volatility needs to pick up, but it only picks up when it gets when the momentum gets overbought or oversold. Volatility only happens when we're overbought and oversold, not in the chop zone. So let's see what happens here. If we do come down for a dip to about $1, that would be a great buy opportunity. Of course, falling through the volume gap, you can see a bit of weakness here. We fall right through, we buy the dip in DCA, and you have a wall of price action, a wall of market participation that definitely is here to act as support. And if that happens, it's likely that we see the momentum fall. Maybe we come down to oversold conditions, as we kind of did here on this expansion to the downside. Maybe we get a red expansion to the downside again. We did kind of begin it right here. You can see that it's kind of forming. Let me make this nice and big. You can see it's starting to begin here, but it's slowly tapering off as well. Maybe it's done. We're not getting a huge expansion to the downside yet, so we're still a bit early to expect that. So as long as we stay above $1.20, $1.25, I'm expecting this to be a bull flag. That's the long story short, a bull flag. If we start breaking below, we could obviously get into oversold conditions, and then we can start looking for another long position as we get oversold. Wait for the volatility to get oversold again as the orange line gets back to the bottom. That would be a great opportunity to DCA back in, even if it's a confirmation, a little bit of a retracement on the orange line. But if we are oversold, you can see every time the momentum is oversold and the volatility is oversold, guys. It is, and the expansion is looking exhausted. Like in this fractal, in this scenario right here, this was the best time to go long. So let's see if we can replicate those conditions. But at the end of the day, getting in long right now based on the bull flag is not a bad idea. Let's jump onto the 4-hour real quick, and remember all these indicators, oscillators across the board, and not just this one that I got going on, all of them on TradingView are lagging indicators, and they work better on a larger time frames. On higher time frames, you will see a lot more success. On the 4-hour is not bad, but you can see that the volatility is there, not there. Choppy, 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 overbought, oversold, overbought, oversold, with no volatility, stuck in a range like a stable coin. So this is where you have to start building a bit of confidence. Do we get in here, put a stop loss underneath the range, and hope that we get that bounce, and prepare to DCA at about 95, 96 cents, which would be a great area for support based on the price action as can be seen. Guys, not bad. Octaspace from a fundamental perspective should be super bullish. Feel free to check out that deep dive that I did create. There's a playlist on the YouTube. Obviously, there's a playlist there where you can skim through all my deep dives, and Octaspace definitely is one that you should keep on your watch list, because I think based on the market cap and the narrative that it's within, it could actually get some really good bullish bids and eventually start running to the upside. Guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, you know what you got to do. You got to slap the like button. And if you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join that Discord, guys. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, traded setups, fundamentals, and learning material. Guys, see you tonight, 7:30 Eastern. Take care. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.